Hey everyone, here is an interesting fact. According to ThoughLab, we ran a survey, research against 1,200 companies, diverse as 13 different industry and 16 different countries. The survey came out with several good information, but one that I want to call attention to is that 30% of the executives that were surveyed mentioned that they did not have sufficient budget allocated to protect their organizations. 30% out of 1,200 organizations that were surveyed. So what do you do when budget becomes a challenge? Well, I have 3 areas here for you to focus. Basically, 3 rules to follow. Number 1, be clear about your problem. Yes, it could be anything. In this case, cybersecurity threats, risks, vulnerabilities, or the whole thing. Be clear about the problem that your business is facing right now. What you need to do is focus on the strategy to address that problem, whatever that problem may be for your small business. Number 2, agree on a definition of risk. There are several definitions out there. NIST provides one, ISO provides another one, and so forth. So slightly different variations, but you can create your own based on these widely acceptable standards, but your entire organization needs to agree on what is risk for your organization. The third and final rule here that I want to provide with you and share with you is you need to come up with a definition, agree upon the entire organization, what is critical. And that is very important because that will drive your strategy, that will drive the main force behind of how to tackle the shortage on your budget. So why is that important? Because a note of caution here, the criticality and how you're going to address this. So there's 2 ways to see this. And if the organization has the inability to view this from an organizational perspective versus from an individual performer perspective, and the organization cannot see the difference or not identify that when defining the word critical to the organization, that will lead you to defend everything on your organization, rather than identify and protect against the risks that are going against your critical assets. That basically. So to protect everything is to protect nothing. Keep that in mind. To protect everything is to protect nothing. Now, not to say, caveat here, not to say that you're going to let everything else that do not fall in a critical budget, just let go. But the bulk of your investment, which is already short, according to this, if you are part of that 30%, and you feel that you are part of that 30%, that you don't have sufficient budget to protect your organization, think about it. Rally your investments around these critical assets, those that have impacted the mission, vision, and services that your organization provides to your customers and your shareholders. Rally around those, invest around those, and protect those against the risks that you identify earlier and what the problem is that you identify earlier. And everything else you protect accordingly. Now, once again, I'm not saying do not do anything or do not protect everything else, but you put that priority in place on what is important to your organization to save your organization.